What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while. Haven't got to make a whole lot of content here lately. Last year was kind of rough on the racing. Didn't get to go as much as we wanted to, but we got a race coming up in March here in just inside of a month. We got like 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So, but that's not what this video is about. Gonna be doing something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and the Trailblazer has always been in a I built it to, where it could take a little bit of nitrous or boost. I gapped the rings. It's obviously forged bottom end in it and everything, but it is finally time to throw some nitrous at it. I ended up kind of going down a rabbit hole. Whole thing kind of snowballed. I got the opportunity to buy a cheap, like $400 nitrous kit used off of a buddy. He upgraded. I bought his old stuff. Gave me a killer deal. And I knew that it might not fit, but I was going to try it anyway, and it didn't fit. But I knew that the plate was smaller than the throttle body because I got 102mm throttle body on here. I ported the snout on the stock intake. I'm just on a LY6 intake. I thought I could just bevel the edge of the plate and make it clear throttle blade, but it didn't. So I found a used but new, but just never used. It was installed but never sprayed 102mm Nitrous Express kit, and the whole thing kind of snowballed because before I found that, I figured out that there was no way that I could make that other plate work, I went ahead and I bought the Maximizer 6 nitrous controller with the signal synchronizer. The cool thing about this is that the signal synchronizer gets everything off of the data stream to the window switch, RPM. It looks at all kinds of stuff, so I don't have to pin in and like mutilate my stock wiring harness, because I don't know how long I'm going to keep it this way. The ultimate goal eventually is to go turbo, but I tend to like this. I tend to do everything like really nice, so I end up to do it turbo, like it's a lot of money, and I don't want to half do things. I like to do them nice, hence why I have a $600 nitrous progressive controller with a $200 add-on. And then I got also at the same time I also ordered all the stuff to do a standalone fuel system for it. So again, probably going to spray like VP 110 or something like that. Really overkill for the shot that I'm going to put in it. We're probably only going to spray like 100 shot most of the time, but this plate kit is good for single stage up to 400, and then it's drilled to where I could add a second kit, and second kit's obviously good to 400 as well. I don't know why you would want to spray 800 on a plate, especially on a stock intake manifold. Sounds like a bad idea to me. Even 400 on a stock manifold through a plate is questionable. I would want to go direct port if I was going to attempt that. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be getting all this stuff installed, and we're also going to be swapping my buddy Jose with Street Muscle Racing. He wants my MSD two-step, and he's got one of the Lingenfelter two-steps that has step retard. So I'm going to be pulling the two-step off, and me and him are going to be trading, because he changed his setup up a little bit and doesn't need it, and he wants to just have the two-step. So going to be doing that as well. So we'll be using the Lingenfelter. I think it's the LNC-2000. I think it's the part number that does step control. So we're going to be adding that. That's what we're going to be using for our timing retard for the nitrous. Probably don't need it, but just to be safe, we're going to pull a little bit of timing. With the only spraying a small shot, and then also having a standalone fuel system, spraying VP110 is probably what I'm going to spray. Would more or less eliminate the need to retard timing completely, but we're at least going to start. We're going to err on the side of caution, and we're going to start to where we pull some timing out. We'll obviously start extra and dial it back to wherever it needs to be, and see where we go from there. But anyway, that's what we're gonna be doing today. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run the lines off this side, and this is what the other guy had done. Don't jump on me for it. You're not supposed to use Teflon tape. You're supposed to use liquid. But we gotta notch this this corner of the intake manifold for the line, because I want to run the lines come down through here and then try to hopefully mount the solenoid somewhere right in this area. So, but we gotta notch that little piece right there. We use the little end grinder and clearance it real quick. The kit when I bought it did not come with a solenoid bracket. The guy, well, can't say that. It came with the little generic solenoid mounts, and the guy had them mounted up here, and it was kind of janky. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I like my stuff to be like pretty clean. So got the plate mounted throttle body, got the lines. Eventually I want to redo these with hard line, but for right now, having them looped coming up under, and then I got a little rough cardboard template of how I want to make the solenoid bracket. I'm gonna bend it up out of aluminum. It's gonna have with the nitrous right here, probably put the fuel next to it, canted at just a little slight angle like that, and you know, the nitrous solenoid right there, and then fuel sitting right there next to it. Fuel will be kind of kicked at a little angle and run both lines right there. All right, back. We got our bracket cut out, bent up. Still kind of rough, but we're looking at something kind of like that. It'd be pretty close. We can we'll get the mounting holes drilled. We can get it secured, sitting there in place, and then we can figure out exactly how we want to orient the solenoids. And good thing is that we do have these guys, which we're not going to use obviously, but we can use this as a template to mark all our holes, because obviously we need the big hole for the line to go through, and then I believe it's the big outside holes. So we have a direct template. Once we can orient them exactly how we want, mark them, and get it drilled out. Right, got her mounted up. The solenoids are just sitting on top of it, but that's what we're I think that's what we're shooting for right there. And a slight cant on the fuel solenoid to go around the intake a little bit. Pretty much go straight back with the nitrous line, but that's what we're looking at. And then it'll be pretty easy to tuck away the wires, and the intake tube and stuff will be right here. The purge I'll probably run out down. Honestly, I want to run it out the velocity stack. It's either that or like, I don't know, old school, or up the window, or shoot it out the velocity stack. I could always come out the grill as well. I could bring it up here, come straight out the grill, or I could also shoot it out of the little vent on right here on the grill. All right, so got the bracket painted, solenoids installed. The lines from the solenoids to the plate are hooked up. Intake tube and everything back on. All of that stuff is 100%. I took all of the fittings apart, took all the Teflon tape off, because you're not supposed to use Teflon tape. I got everything 100% ready to go. All right, we're back up here in the garage. We just made a quick little store run. Tried to get a few things from the parts store. I ended up getting what I didn't think I was going to be able to find. I had no hope of finding it. And I didn't get the things that I thought was going to be no problem to get. So go figure on that. So I had to just Amazon them because I couldn't get them at any stores. This plate is actually plumbed where you can add a second kit of nitrous. You can add a second stage, and it's just got pipe plugs in it. Well, I bought this kit used. For whatever reason, the guy took one of the plugs out and just had a piece of, I don't know, it was like plastic just shoved in there. I didn't think getting a little pipe plug like that, but it's metric thread. My luck. So I had to Amazon those. It'll be a couple days. It'll be here. He also had lost the ferrule to the purge line. So I didn't think I was going to be able to find just a little ferrule. I was thinking I was going to have to adapt some fittings or whatever. But I was actually able to find the ferrule. So we got some line. So we're going to run the purge, I think is what we're going to do next. All right, I'm going to show you what we got. This is just kind of loosely put on there. The angle doesn't look that extreme in person. It kind of exaggerates it on camera, but 90 down, 90 over. I got it kind of just stuck out the grill right now, but we're going to bend it 90 right here and then go out the velocity stack, I think is what I want to do. That's always been my thought, was to do it that way. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to use the drill with a little 90-degree rig. Try to we can't drill it, we can't put a pilot hole. We're not just center punch it or anything. It's in there kind of in a weird spot, so hopefully it's not too difficult to get it drilled. But that's what we're looking at right now. All right, we got the purge line all bent up, mounted. We're going to, all I need to do is just, I'm gonna throw a little zip tie and stuff down here. But down, around, out, and then we came out the velocity stack. I don't know if you can see it. You see it in there. Right now I don't have the 90-degree boot hooked up. It's just got the air filter on it because I've been street driving it a little bit. When I'm racing it, I put a 90-degree boot here. If you go back and watch my other video on how I actually made it, you can see that. I show it both ways. So I was able to get it in there and get it drilled in a way that it's not going to affect the boot coming off and on. So, which is something I was worried about. But there was enough room where I could get in flat, straight. Just had to use that little 90-degree attachment. Get in there, pop my hole. So I'm gonna throw a little zip tie, a little chafe guard on it. All right, guys, back at it. We left off where we got the bottle mounted. Well, we got the line ran. It was pretty much the perfect length, the factory line that the kit came with. Got it hooked up to the bottle. Runs along the little back of the seat there, the little fold down gap cover. Goes down. Can't see it, but jumps underneath the carpet, runs underneath the passenger seat. Again, I didn't want to drill anything. I didn't want to drill any permanent holes, so there's a little plug in the carpet, the floorboard right here. Pulled the little plug up, and I'll end up just putting a little notch in it right here. I'm gonna probably put a piece of hose or something over the nitrous line, just as a little chafe guard, and secure it. And then we'll just notch a little hole in this right here, lay that back down, reseal it, and runs right down there beside the trans, and then up the firewall in the back of the solenoid. All right, guys, we're out in the shop today. We're going to get started on the standalone fuel system for the nitrous on the Trailblazer. We're going to be making our own. You can buy, obviously, you know, at Nitrous outlet, out Nitrous Express, everybody sells their own standalone tanks, you know, that you can buy as a kit. I wanted an in-tank pump. The in-tank pump kits on, you know, obviously they're pre-made, or $1,000 or $1,200 or something like that, depending on how you wanted them set up exactly. And so I decided I was just going to make my own, which still about roughly right around $500 into all of this, but it's still half price of, you know, what you can you know, purchase one for pre-done. So that's what we're going to be working on. We just have a generic eBay, Amazon, little 60-gallon fuel cell. It's really designed to be used in a external pump setup. So we'll be just putting some caps on the outlets, except for obviously the vent. But we got a RCI, kind of just a generic drop-in hat for the top. So the pump will mount up to this, a little small section of fuel line, air motive regulator. So we'll be using to control fuel pressure. So yeah, let's get started. Got the fuel pump hung on here. Got the wires ran, changed out one connector. I trimmed the foam and put it back a little bit. That way we can get the everything that sets down in there, and then still have the foam for slosh protection whenever we get down to lower fuel level, just in case. So let's see if we can set all this in here. Get it set. I don't think it's going to drop, but I'm just going to put a couple nuts on here just to not let nothing drop down. Alright, got it all installed. When the other fittings and stuff get here, we'll finish getting it plumbed up. We'll go ahead and start working on getting it mounted into the car. Got it all wired up. I'm going to put a connector in here so that way I can remove it if I need to, for whatever reason, remove the tank from the vehicle. Just disconnect the connector and pop it out. Got our air motive regulator that we'll be mounting somewhere close by in the vehicle to set our fuel pressure, and we have a standalone fuel system now. So the only thing left is to get it in the car. All right, a couple days later, finally got all the fittings and stuff in that we need. I ended up getting called into work and stuff, so it's I'm further behind on this than what I wanted to be, and I got to go to work tonight. So today we're gonna get the fuel cell mounted. It is early outside, so we're not I don't want to be out here grinding and doing a whole bunch of stuff just yet. So we're gonna try to roughly get an idea of where we're gonna put the cell, get everything marked up, and then hopefully by then it'll be a little bit later, and we'll pull this thing out and get everything covered, and get the grinder out and start cutting. Right, we got our first cuts made, or not made, but marked. Got holes drilled for my corners. Got the engine all covered up. Try to keep everything from getting all completely nasty. So we'll make our cuts real quick and then do a little test fit. Alright, we
got it kind of mocked up. Fuel cell sitting down in there close to where it's going to be. I'm going to get it to try to drop it down just a little bit lower probably. Put the boot on here for the velocity stack just to kind of fit it up. Probably won't be able to run a filter anymore. I might have to do an intake tube where it 90 is over and then just go straight down to be able to run a filter. That's not a big deal. All right, we're back and we got it all mounted up. Probably said put the fuel regulator right there. I'm gonna reroute this probably to somewhere over in this area because it normally sits back here, but it's gonna kind of be in the way of the fuel regulator where I want to have it. And that, or I put the regulator back there. I'll have to still scope it out. I hadn't even got it out the box yet, other than to put the fittings on it. But we're really close. Back with the next update. We got the fuel pressure regulator mounted. I built a little aluminum bracket to hold it. I don't have to drill into nothing or anything. I'll eventually pull that back off and paint that black. But figured right there it'd probably be the easiest way to route everything since everything's so kind of compact in here. So we'll come out of the pump, feed it around into the regulator, out into the fuel solenoid, and then it will turn out the bottom, come back around into the return. That's it. So making the lines, all we got left, and then it's just hooking up the wires. All right, back at it today. Gonna, I think, finish this video off on this one. We're going to make these AN lines up real quick from the fuel cell to the regulator, returning back to the fuel cell, and then from the regulator to the fuel solenoid. So let's get some AN lines made up. All right, we got our first hose end put together. We got the pressure line off of the pump, fed back around. I always lay them out the way that I want them done. Coming into the regulator right here. The way that I always do it is I mark where I want to cut with the center of the tape. You always want to put tape on the end of your AN lines to keep them from flaring, because I don't know if you can see that or not, a little focus, but there's a steel lining underneath here if you get the black stuff. If not, if you get the silver stuff, it's just a straight steel woven material. This is all PTFE line stuff. I would never suggest buying anything other than the PTFE lined, but let's go get this cut and get this other end put on and keep going. All right, putting a couple of these fittings together, I figured I'd give you a couple of tips if you're not familiar with doing AN line. You always want to put your end on before you take your tape off. Try not to make your tape wrap too thick, otherwise you'll have a hard time getting the fitting end over. The poly lining on the inside, which hopefully you can see, focus. That white lining inside, you put the ferrule on over the top of it between the steel braid, and it goes over the top of the PTFE. You get it started, and then I always on a hard surface. I always try to use something metal. Just press down on it to seat it. There's a little groove right inside of there. I'll show you all on the next one. Where the AN line seats up against. Once you get it that far, then you're good to put your fitting end in here and then tighten them up. That's all you gotta do. All right, and we are done. We got the lines plumbed up. Pressure line, return line, feed line to the solenoids, return back on this side. This is your pressure coming in, pressure out, return. And that is all of the hard plumbing, all the mechanical stuff, I guess you could say. Now we just got to wire it up and get it set up. So that's where we're going to end it off here on this video. We'll do a part 2 with the electrical side of everything. So If you stuck by this long, I appreciate it, and if you would drop a like, comment, share it. Any type of engagement goes a long way, so appreciate it. The goal is to get this channel monetized. We're about halfway there right now. I know the content's been kind of slow as of late, but hopefully we got a race coming up in a couple weeks. We're gonna have this thing at me and a couple buddies, a couple other Trailblazers are gonna go 750 Index at Houston Motorsports Park on the 14th of March, which is a good chance if you've seen this video. That race has already happened, because I'm probably not going to post about this until after, because I want to try to get some grudge races in. There's only a very small handful of people that even know that I'm doing this, so try to get a couple grudge races in, and then I'll probably post everything. So there's a good chance you'll see a video on that race, maybe some other stuff. I do have another project in the works, a new truck, full-size truck, so I'll be dropping that soon too. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll see y'all in the next one.